Hi there. So I have no idea how this is going to come out. I'm going to give something a try here. I've never done a how I do type video, mostly because I kind of work in a weird way. So it's difficult for me to film what I'm actually doing. But I've had people ask me how I do this with just brushwork and not use the salt method and things like that. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to show you how I did this using just my brush. I use this guy, which is Atlas Brush, what, 10-0, whatever you want to call it. It's about that big. See my fingers. It's the smallest one I have, and it's the one I use, and I will use this until I kill it. But I started out, with this sort of a base, or this base here, and worked it the last 15-20 minutes, and this is about what I got there. Did some work on this. I need to clean up the muck down this spot. I don't like the way that's pooling with the white, so I'm going to probably have to overlay it and do some more pulls. But doing this rust effect here, it's all brushwork, and this is a 156 scale Rubicon, I think, Rubicon Katyusha that I'm working on here. And yes, all this stuff's not done, but I'm working on the I'm just working on this piece right here, and I'm leaving it on the truck just because it's easier to hold it and I don't get my fingers on things. So to start with, what did I use? Yeah, the first thing I used was this stuff, the Acrylic Earth Technical Paint. This stuff is that. It's putty with paint, really. That's all it is. And I put down a layer of that at the various places I want to give that bubbled up look. Okay, so this down here has that sort of 3D texture there, big fat fingers, there. I used this stuff and I just laid down a layer and gooped it on. You can kind of see how I did. I used this crap old brush just to kind of goop it on. And all I'm looking for is to get some texture to it, just a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. It's already where I've dusted in, done the dry brush for the fade, for the darken off the whitewash. So where am I going to make it rusty? Well, that's where I goop this stuff in. And the paints I use are these. Black brown, mud brown, burnt umber, and bright orange, orange red. This orange red really gives that pop. Now, I mean, obviously what I'm doing is I'm mixing these things as I go. But these are the 4 paints that I use. These are paints that I have had and I've been using since I've been gaming for quite some time. So this is stuff I'm familiar with, is what I use. Here's my palette. See, I've got those 4 colors. And really what I'm doing is I dip in and then I make, it's more of a wash than anything. And people have commented, see my thumb, I do this a lot. Just to get a lot of the, after I've dipped in, I get it down to, you could use tissue paper and stuff. I'm lazy. I just dip in until I get it to where I want it. And if it's not flowing right, if you see the brush disappear and come back and it's flowing differently, it's because I've gone and done something like that. I've gone here and I just dip it on my thumb. Do I recommend it? I don't care. Is there a right and a wrong way to do this? Probably not. This is the way I do it. So, kind of sounds like paints are cute. So, all right. That's dry. So I'm going to work this spot here and these spots here. And I'm going to try to do this on camera. So getting in here, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bit of this. And what I'm doing is I'm looking to set the upper edge. And what I want to do, and that is way too much. And this is challenging because my eyesight doesn't allow me to see very well, and it's at that perfect zone where I'm actually going to have to use the video to see what I'm doing, which is going to be fun. So what I need is you need to create that shadow space just there. There. So now I'm dipping into water, getting water off. And now that I've got that laying down, I'm going to come back in and soften. And now what I'll tend to do is I'll brush down and grab with my thumb. And you see what that did is it creates this look of a shadow just there. And that's exactly what I'm after. Is I'm just looking to do that, to get that shadowy kind of depth to the edge of where the color is. If I come down here, I want to do that right there. I'm doing the same thing here. And it's kind of, I want this like a wash, and I'm sort of washing it up at that edge, but I'm creating sort of this barrier between the whitewash in the original paint of the vehicle and where the metal is fading. And so here I'm mucking up the color. I just want to get it, just getting it a little darker. I'm going to grab some of this stuff, this terracotta color. Come on. There we go. This is drawing out a bit. I'm going to come back in here. Again, this is a little. And that's all I'm looking to do is just draw that. And then again, I'll draw this down. And because this is a wash, this is going to dry almost subtly, almost really, really subtle. And it'll almost disappear when you're looking at it. So there I'm cutting that edge, right? I'm cutting that color. And I can extend that out if I want to. Yeah, so I just do that. And then the door, see the door's got that whitewash all around it. Just hit it with the same. This is the burr number, by the way. That is basically a wash. So I'm just doing that hit around that corner. And that gives me, it's like a pin wash. I'm just going to drag this here. Drag that down there. And darken this up. And I'm going to go to this black brown. This is a really strong color. You can see right there as I mix it. It's a really, really strong color. So I'm going to darken a little. And now I'm just grabbing water at the moment, just into my brush so I can blend that and just darken. And what I'm doing is I'm pushing toward that edge, right? Where that edge was. I'm going to do the same thing here. Right there. And then down here I want to darken this up. This is way too light. And this is just a wash. Now, this is where the real magic comes in. And that, I think, is shot. So I'm going to drop another drop of that real quick. Excuse me, sorry for the shaking of the thing. So let's get a little drop of that there. Then, and that's even way too much. I just need a touch, right? So I'm going to come over here, grab a touch of that, and I'm going to come over here and just, now watch what this does. Drop that in here. And look at that rust dust. That color just makes it pop. It just brings rust into that look. And that is exactly what I was looking for. This particular color, and especially, and it mixes so well with these other colors. And it's easy to overdo it. It's real easy in that, I'm going to overdo it on purpose. So here, right, let's get that really bright. Let's say I put way too much in there, right? Okay. So there's that really, really orangey rust. So just grab a bit of these darker colors. Mix them up. That's way too much. There we go. And then hit it. Hit it with a wash. And I do all this while it's damp, because it's just easier to move this stuff. So I want to brighten that up a bit. I want to bring that up. I want to start adding some more of these rust highlights in here. And then I'll bring it back. And I tend to work up and then come back down. So, and I just do this till it feels right. And I'll pull this down. And I'll pull this like this. And that's too much, so then I'll just nick it. Or if I have my other brush handy, which I didn't, but I will get it. Just grab and pull. Quick. Grab and pull. And I don't like the way that looks because I can see it now on camera. I'm just going to do that to soften that up. Pull this. And this very dry brush allows me to grab that and yank it. And I'll soften those, blend those out. It's like working a filter. Filter, that's the word. Now, look at that. You see how this right here has this very 3D look. But that's just paint. There's no real there's no actual texture to this. So I'm going to go back, put some more in here. And literally that's all I do is just wash after wash, over and over, light and dark, until I get it to the color that's consistent and what I'm after. So that there is about what I'm looking for. And now this is a little bit lighter, and now that I see it, I don't like it. So let me darken that up just a tad. So let me pull a little of this black brown and wash it just a little. It's a little much. Pull that water off. And that's what I'm doing there is when I dry it on my finger, I'm just pulling some of that water off. And just doing that. So there, I darken that up. So that is how, let's go ahead and put that on there because I don't want to get my fingers to muck it up because otherwise I will. So there, yeah. So that is the way, the method, process that I use. I don't like it. I'm still not liking it. So let's do this. It's one thing I want to cut in. And this is, I want to cut in that edge. And again, I think this is a function of me not being able to see. I want to cut that line. And then this is just a detail line, right? I want that hard edge right there. That's too much. So let's blend it and pull it. Now let's see if I can cut that in using this, the black brown. I'm just twisting my brush to get my point. There, that's what I want right there. That little touch of really dark right at that edge to cut that in. There. I don't like that particular bit, so I'm going to pull that, then pull it. And then I'm going to lighten that up a quick bit. Use this terracotta color. This terracotta color just to soften that a wee bit. Just soften that up just a wee bit. There. That is a quick and dirty 15-minute quick how I do the rust effects for something like this and in this scale without using the salt. All right. I hope this is helpful. I hope people find this helpful, and thank you very much.